I'm so sorry for the interruption. I hope you can hear me. Can you able to hear me? Are
Yes,
you able
sir.
to? Okay, fine then. Okay, fine then. No, I'll quickly go with this. I don't know what is going wrong. Fine. The next need for an automated assembly system, high product demand, the stable product design, and the assembly consists of no more than a limited number of components. The product is designed for automated assembly, which we have already gone through. The major comparison between automated assembly and a production lines or a transfer lines is that work part produced are smaller in size compared to the transfer lines. That is what. The second one is which we have already discussed. Assembly operations do not have a large mechanical forces and power requirements comparatively the production lines. The size is very less compared to the transfer line. The size of the assembly lines will be less compared to the transfer lines. Design for automated assembly. This just I'll go quickly. What are the automated assembly designs? Reduce the amount of assembly required. Use modular design. Reduce the number of fasteners required and reduce the need for multiple components to lay handled at once. Limit the required directions of access. Require high quality in components. Implement operability in the assembly design. That is nothing but reduce the amount of assembly required. Which means, as much as possible, what they suggest is you should go for more casted products. That means number of assembly items, the number of components which are required for the assembly should be very less. Say, for example, if you reduce the number of components to be assembled, the faster the rate you can make the assembly in actual cases. Use modular design. That means use a sophisticated design in order to avoid the confusions and enhance the MLTs. Okay, reduce the number of fasteners required. Fasteners, basically a fastener is something which holds it. That is what the basic meaning of the fasteners. According to that, for a good design of automated assembly, we should reduce the number of, to be frank, actually we cannot remove the fasteners in actual cases, but we can reduce, if there are any chances to reduce the number of fasteners, that we have to reduce it. Okay, next, reduce the need for multiple components to lay handled at once. Multiple components. That means, say for example, if you are using a spanner for tightening the nut and bolt, you should use the spanner at once for all the things which needs to be tightened. That is what a multiple components to handle at once. Limit the required directions of access. Say for example, if you are assembling the doors, you should assemble all the doors at a one time. You should not assemble one door and then remove then once again door. It should not be like this. So that means required direction of access should be the same. Next, require high quality in components. That is what obviously it is by default, by common sense, we can say that the high quality is required for the components. Implement operability. Okay. Next one is the types of automated assembly systems. Actually, even in the production lines or transfer lines, also we get a similar type of automated line systems or automated assembly systems. Now, here is a one thing: dial type assembly machine. Second one is inline assembly machine, and the third one is carousel assembly system, which is not in your syllabus actually. Single station assembly machine. So these are all the different types of assembly systems. Let us go for a dial type. When we say dial type or a radial type, when in which you can see it here, the components which will enter it here at this point, and it just moves to a machine tool 1 or a machine tool 2. I don't say it is a machine tool, a fastener 1 or a fastener 2 and a fastener 3 and a fastener. So this is how it will be there. So series of assembly units which will be arranged radially. That is what we call it as a dial type. The name itself indicates that maybe you might have come across with the older, the conventional phones, where which there used to be a number and the dial ring used to be there. We used to put our fingers and rotate it for the complete rotations. So that is why you can see the similar type of arrangements So this is called as a dial type, where this is a fixtures to locate the parts, and this is a completed part which comes out with a dial type. This is what this is the actual one thing wherein which if you go to like HMT, Hindustan Machine Tools, Unix, and all those, where you can get that kind of dial type systems. So this is the inline configurations. As we have already discussed in a production automated or production lines, this is an inline where in which materials or the components will enter at the entry, and it moves along the line in a straight line manner to get assembled, and the final product will come out at the end of this line. So this is called as an inline configuration. Next, this is what we similar to this we have already discussed a rectangular production lines. So this is the same thing, but only thing is this radial one, which comes over here and it makes an entry at one end, and at the same end on the other side, the completed finished product will come out. This is called as row cell assembly system, similar to the rectangle type. And the third one is a single station assembly. In the single station assembly, you can take maybe assembly of a ship, assembly of an aeroplane, wherein which it is a single station assemblies, wherein which the product itself will be taken when it is a huge, then we will go for a single station assembly. So this is how all the components will be put into this, and it will assemble it and it will send it back. This is the one. Now this is one example part feeding devices where there will be a hopper, parts improperly oriented fed into the hopper. This is the one which selects the components and it will feed it to the escapement and placements over here, and the assembly workhead will be over here, and it will do assembly which is required, and the finished product will go out. This is a part feeding device. Hopper and part feeder, I don't think it is necessary for you people. And then escapement and placement devices. These are also a few examples quite similar to this hopper and feeders. Now here what you can see it here, say for example, if this is a bottle, the bottle over comes here and it will be subjected to some work and it will be moved. Once again, you can see an empty place over here. This empty place will occupy this space and this material will move and occupy this vacant place. Then the operation will be done and it goes up. This is something like a radial. Quite similarly, you can also do it for a vertical deliveries. Vertical deliveries like this is what happens even in your ATMs also, where the amounts will be placed over there. Whatever the one thing, so you can take it down back and it keeps moving downwards. Okay, now quickly I'll go through next the mathematical models which are required. Now, my dear friends, the simple problems you can expect on this module, where simple mathematical models are required to be studied. They may ask you for defining in a shortcut. You can say, I just shall quickly go with the small definitions along with the formulae. You can have a look at here. Cycle time. What do you mean by cycle time? Cycle time usually it is defined by T suffix C, which refers to the actual time spent on a machine or a process by the part under manufacturing. Say, for example, irrespective of the flow of lines or assembly, whatever one element or one raw material which takes a complete time to undergo a process, or the complete time taken by that machine to process this material to the next workstation, it is called as a cycle time. Say, for example, one bar element, if you want to make it as a threading, what is the time taken by the machine, or it may be time taken for that process. For which process? For threading process. So it is nothing but a cycle time is nothing but the total time taken by the lathe to perform threading operation, or the total time taken for threading operation on this workpiece, which is under manufacturing, is called as the cycle time. Okay, now when you come to that, we may get doubts. To fix the tool, we need some time. To remove the tool, we need a time. Is it clear? To set the speed, feed, and all the depth of it, we need a time. So it is all been included in the cycle time. That is what he says. Cycle time is nothing but the total and actual time. So it is given by Tc is equal to T0 plus Th plus Tth. where TC is the cycle time, which will be given in terms of minutes, or it may be in seconds, or it may be in hours. Okay. T naught will be actual processing or machining time. That means T naught means under the ideal conditions, what is that means except fixing the tool and removing the tool, or fixing the workpiece and removing the workpiece, what is the time taken for thread cutting is nothing but actual process. Hope you are getting it. If you are drilling if you are making a hole, or if you are making a hole on a plate, means what is the time taken for fixing the plate, what is the time taken after the drilling machine, we are not considering. What is the actual time taken for drilling a hole, only that actual processing time is taken as T naught, where TH is part handling time. Now this part handling time includes fixing the workpiece in a fixture, removing the workpiece after the work, after the processing. So these are all called as a work handling time. Then TTH refers to the tool handling time per product. That means for one product, what is the tool handling time, irrespective of the tool. So all these integrated or addition summing, which will gives us a cycle time. Please be noted. Okay. And the second one is production rate and the batch processing time. Basically, this the most benefit of automation is a high production rate with low wastage of material and time. Obviously, it is our common sense. Automation is being meant to increase the production rate with a minimum wastage and minimum time. That is what the automation, or else the purpose of the automation will not be solved. Hence, for higher productivity. An industrial unit with automation minimizes the handling time, processing time, setup time. So T suffix SU is nothing but a setup time, my dear friends. Is it clear? So TB refers to the batch production time. Please be careful here. A batch is different. Say, for example, if you are making a bolts of maybe around 10 mm, you are also preparing 20 mm, 30 mm, different diameters of bolts you are preparing. So the batch refers to one particular dimension. Say, for example, only 10 mm bolts we are preparing around 1000. So this 1000 we call it as a batch. So here, my dear friends, batch product processing time is referred by TB, whereas the SU, T suffix SU, which will be referred to the processing time. Industrial with automation, the production rate of manufacturing plant is expressed in terms of number of units produced per reference. That is what given by TB is equal to TSU plus Q into TC, whereas TC is nothing but the cycle time, Q is nothing but number of products produced. Okay. Now further he has been derived and he has given the average production rate, RP, average production rate is equal to 1 divided by TP is equal to Q divided by TB. Is that clear? It is not so clear actually. I just shall give you the notes. I will send you the this one. Okay. Now he has just taken and he has derived it to give the average production time is given by TP, which is equal to TP by Q. Q is nothing but number of units which is been produced per hour. Whereas RP is nothing but average production rate. Production rate is given by per second. That is 1 divided by TP. R is also nothing but Q divided by TP. In a plant with quantity time mass production, the production rate will be equal to the cycle rate of the machine after commencing the production. For a flow type mass production, the production time is approximately equal to the cycle time of the production line. That is what he says. And the third one is the production capacity. The production capacity is given by, in a production plant, the term capacity refers to the total available resources in terms of men and machines to produce the required product. It can also be defined as the maximum rate of output to a plant can produce with available resources and operating conditions. Production capacity means, basically a capacity means what is the total number of human resource and the machine which are available. Say, for example, if if you take a small scale industry or if you take an institute, what is your capacity means what is the number of faculties that are available, what is the number of infrastructure, what is the infrastructure which is available will forms as the capacity of an institute. So similarly, whether it is a small, medium or large scale industry, the capacity of the plant is defined as the number of men and machine which are available for the production is called as a production capacity. What do you mean by then? A production operating condition, that is production capacity. That means the maximum rate of output a plant can produce with the available resources is called as a production capacity, which is given by production capacity is given by PC is equal to N into SW plus HSH into RP. RP is nothing but the same thing over average production rate, whereas N is number of units. Okay, and SW is nothing but the number of shifts per week. Basically, all the 7 days we don't work it, or all 24/7 we may not go for the production. Maybe they will go for 8 hours, 8 hours. So that is what the number of shifts per week. How many number of shifts? Say for example, one subject you will be come across with 4 number of classes or 5 number of classes week. So 5 number of classes per week is nothing but SW shifts per week. It is similar to that. So for a lathe machine, what is the number of shifts which are available per week is given by SW. Okay, that is what he has told. And HSH is nothing but hours of work per shift. Say for example, I have 3 shifts means what is one shift timing? Either it can be a 6 hour or it can be 8 hours working hours. So that is what HSH. I repeat once again, PC is nothing but a plant capacity which is given by N into FW into HS. RP is nothing but production rate. N is nothing but number of work centers available. N is nothing but number of work centers available. SW is nothing but number of shifts per week available. And HSH is nothing but hours of work per shift which are available. RP is nothing but, as we have already discussed, which is nothing but the production rate, the average production rate, which can also be given as, in case of a batch production, if each product has to be routed through N0 machines, N0 machines or work centers, then the plant capacity is given by the relation. Same thing with N0. That means if it is a batch production, we are just adding N0 number of machines or work centers. That will give us the production rate for a batch production. Batch, if it is not a batch production, then plant capacity. You need to be careful here with these two, my dear friends. When you are doing a numerical, when he says 3 number of batches of so and so is being produced, then N0 will be a 3 number of machine or work centers which are available for a batch production. For a batch production, this is the number of machines which are available. Okay, that is what he has just simplified it. If it is a batch production, it's a number of more number of batch production, then you can go for a summarizing all these things, summation of this. Now the next one is manufacturing lead time, which I've already discussed here. Manufacturing lead time can also be defined as the overall time taken to process a raw material into a finished product is nothing but a manufacturing lead time. As an industrialist, as a manager, I always would like to have less MLT. Okay, when a product is under manufacturing, to reach its final stage, it undergoes both productive and non-productive operations. Say, for example, productive means, I was just talking about it, a workpiece which has to undergo threading. So, threading operations, which we call it as a productive operations. Fixing this workpiece, switching on the coolants, setting the tool, these are all called as a non-productive operations. Getting my point? So, productive and non-productive operations. So this MNT, which will include all these productive and non-productive operations timings. Productive operations include the actual processing on machines and assembly, whereas the non-productive operations include operations like material handling, movement, inspection, storage, and etc. Which add time to total quality, total activity. In addition, it may require some preparatory operations like setup of materials, fixtures, tools, and etc. That is what. So this MLT, manufacturing lead time, is being given from I is equal to 1 to N naught, whereas N naught is nothing but a number of machines which are available, my dear friends. I is equal to, it can be 1 to Nm. So whereas Q is nothing but number of units produced in a batch. For one batch, how many number of units that is being produced? TC is nothing but, we already know it. It is nothing but time for productive operations. T N0, time spent in a non-productive time. TSU is nothing but setup operations, which we have already discussed over here. This is nothing but setup time. Where here we have already discussed. Time is nothing but setup time in the batch productions. Quite similarly over here. And N0 is nothing but number of machines or operations involved. It can be a number of machines or it can be number of operations also. Maybe, for example, in lathe, thread cutting, facing, drilling, knurling, number of, here the machine is same, but operations are different. Then also N0 will be, if you have 4 operations, we are doing it in a lathe, then N0 will be 4. Apart from that, say for example, you have a thread cutting operation, then you have a milling operation, then you have a drilling operation in different machines, then N0 will also be equal to 3 because number of machines will be different. Okay, MLT, it is given by N0 into TSU plus Q into TC plus T N0. Okay, that means it is sum of the setup time, quality, the number of units produced in a batch, and the cycle time. Instead of cycle time, he has given production operation time. It is nothing but the same thing. And then T0, which is nothing but time spent in non-productive timings. And it has been multiplied with number. Then the utilization and availability. Utilization and availability, it is different actually. To be frankly, in my words, utilization, say for example, there are 4 machines which are available. Then we call it as the 4 machines are available. How do you utilize? Do you use all the 4 machines for this product? If we use only 2, then we call it as an utilization. Or maybe the 2 machines which may not be working, then the utilization will be 2. So whatever it may be, availability is entirely different than the utilization. Utilization and availability are 2 important measures of performance in an industry. Utilization gives a measure of how best the production resources are being utilized when they are effectively available. Thus, it is related to the capacity planning. If the utilization is low, then it indicates that the plant capacity is not used to its full extent. That is what something like our mileage for the vehicles, 100% efficiency, which is not possible also, but still they will try to achieve 100%. That is what he has told. If the utilization is full 100%, and if the company is getting more demands, then it is time for the company to expand its capacity to meet the additional demand. Even after using utilization of all the machines to the 100%, still the demand is more from the market. Then we say the expansion. That means more expand, whether it may be in terms of men or it may be in terms of machines or it may be in terms of operations. It has to be expanded. Utilization is given by output by a capacity. Capacity is nothing but availability of. Okay, it is availability is given by. Availability is also used as a measure of reliability of machines for defining availability. Availability terms like mean time between failure and mean time to repair. Maybe you got it, available for the failure and repair. So this is between failure, time required to repair, and to this. This will give us availability. My dear friends, we are just running short of time. Next class, we shall proceed with this availability and utilization once again. And then we shall go for a numericals. Okay, I will stop it over here and then we shall continue in the next class. Thank you.